episode number 2 on Under the Floodlights, a member's story. And as you can see, we are joined by Heritage number 45, Bazza Kingston in Tunisia, international Under the Floodlights. How are you doing, Bazza?
I'm all good, mate. All good. All the better for having this interview with you, Mucker.
Absolutely. Bazza knows where he's bred, he's buttered. His wife is in the room on the bed reading a book while he's on the balcony in the sunshine speaking about his wonderful life in Rugby League. Right then, Bazza, let's get straight in. Let's learn a little bit about you first and foremost, mate. Who's your favourite band?
Probably Green Day.
Oh, nice. Favourite song?
Good Riddance.
Yeah. I like a bit of Green Day. Totally said. Favourite film?
Toss up between Bad Boys or Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, the latest Bad Boys I thought was brilliant. Some of the camera work in that was absolutely outstanding. If somebody was going to play Bazza Kingston in a film, who would be playing Big Baz?
Johnny Vegas.
I don't think it'd be a blockbuster.
I didn't even have to think about that
one. Oh, what a legend. That's funny. 3 words that describe you, mate.
A clown.
A clown.
Cheeky and passionate.
Yeah, fair play, mate. Happy days. Your favourite holiday destination? Don't think it's Tunisia, based on what we said before.
No, it's probably Puerto Rico and Gran Canaria. Love that place. Amazing.
Part of the world. What's your current TV box set, mate?
I've just finished Dexter again and Queen of the South on Netflix. Good.
Nice. Fantastic. What's your favourite ground to visit?
Oh, honestly, it's got to be the HJ, Halliwell Jones. And that's because, I don't know, I just love the vibe of the place and I've got good memories, very good memories from 2006.
Well, you'll love it even more this year, of course. Come and join the Super League Royal gang before the game,
Absolutely.
mate. In the Blue Belt, it's going to be wonderful to see you, Dawn, and the crew there for that one. Happy days indeed. Right, 3 dinner party guests, alive or dead, that you could invite round to Chateau Kingston. Who would you be inviting round, mate?
Well, I'd love to have my nan back for one last dinner party, but if we're going celebrities,
she's more important than celebrities, mate. Nana's at the table, mate. That's a given. She's more important than a celebrity. So Nana's there.
I'm going to have my nan there. I'd have to have Paul Smith there. He cracks me up. Paul Smith. He's just, and Tyson Fury. Probably Tyson Fury, Paul Smith, and my nan.
Yeah, I think Ollie Russell did Tyson Fury in his in convo, didn't he? He was a
yeah, Fury, he did, because that's it. But I want to have. But do you know what? That's a good shout, that.
Fantastic. Right, okay. Let's get into you then. Obviously, you live up in Hull, don't you?
Yeah.
You do. All right. So, what's your earliest memory of Rugby League? Was it playing or watching?
It was watching. My uncle took me to my first game when I was around 6, and it was Craven Park when it was like nothing with the speedway. I didn't even watch the game. I used to play on the hill next to the East Stand, and yeah, that was my first memory before I started playing for East Hull. Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, we've had to edit. People go, what's happened here? Baz has just teleported to a bed. Yeah, he's a very talented man. He's Baz. We're having a few issues with the Wi-Fi, so he's gone inside to get a better connection. Baz, when was the passion for the game then? You were playing, not really paying much attention when your uncle took you for the first time. When did the passion start?
So where I grew up, it was quite a rough part of Hull, down bottom of Falkland Road, and there was always cars getting burnt out. And I always remember being a little kid and there was a fire back at the house on the field. It was a car. So obviously being a little lad, rode around on our bikes and fire brigade turned up and it was Ukema. And that was it. I felt like I was next to like this massive celebrity and this guy's trying to put out the fire and we're all trying to get his autograph. And since then I was just hooked. And every time I went to watch Rovers, I was kind of forced on Ukema and that was like the psycho days, Paul Fletcher and that. But it was my idol because I felt like I'd met him. You know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
that's what got me hooked.
How old was you then?
Seven,
About
seven,
seven.
eight.
Right, okay. And did that make you want to play the game? Did you ever play the
Yeah,
game yourself? You did.
yeah, yeah. I signed up for East Hull, played there from a young age, and yeah, I loved it. I was playing out in centre, but then as you grow up, you do different things, and I sort of stopped playing, but always went to watch, and then I just found myself playing in charity games. So yeah, it was good. And I
Yeah,
don't miss it. Just one last blowout. I'd love it, but
yeah,
I don't know if my body can take it. My shoulders are knackered.
yeah. And you miss the camaraderie that goes with it, don't
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The smell of the changing rooms, just everything, just gets you giddy.
you? Yeah. Wintergreen,
Yep.
wintergreen. Hey, I remember.
You'll
It's
know.
funny because obviously now I get a bit of access into changing rooms and this, that, the other, and you don't get the smell of wintergreen as much as you used to. Yeah, I used to cake it on.
Yeah, deep. What is it? Deep heat or deep
Yeah,
freeze? Just everywhere. You pretty
yeah.
much got a bath in it.
Absolutely. Yeah, mate.
Yeah,
Get that in the
mega.
wrong part. Get that in the wrong parts. It stung, didn't it? But that's another story, isn't it? I will leave that one there for the kids. Be careful
Absolutely.
when you're applying and make sure you wash your hands thoroughly.
Yeah.
Is what we would say as a bit of a guide on that one. Right. So, I mean, in terms of your amateur days, then you playing any trophies? Did you win any trophies when you were playing yourself?
No, mate. My amateur career is pretty much the same as Rover's career, trophyless. No,
Happy days.
unfortunately not.
Well, look, you've been on a roller. I mean, as a Robin, you've been on a roller coaster ride. Let's be fair. In your lifetime, a big roller coaster
I
ride.
remember everything, even when I was young.
Absolutely.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So in terms of let's go. Who? So you've already mentioned one. I mean, was there any other heroes of yours, whether that be within the Robins or the wider game, as you were growing up? Who were your
Oh,
heroes in the game?
for the Robins, it was always I loved Bobby Everett. He was a little maverick. I loved Bobby Everett for Rovers. He was quality little player. Um, Broaden in it, I could go the obvious, Kevin Sinfield and all them, but I used to, even though he was on the dark side, Gaz Carvel, he was an animal. He was a
Yeah.
player, Gaz
Gareth,
Carvel.
Gareth Carvel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was a player.
mate. When he came to Warrington, mate. Um, that him and Moz, no doubt about it, massive reason why Warrington had the success they did from 2009 to 2012. He was a big unit, wasn't
But that's going back to the Kevin Penny days. He was lightning for
he?
wire.
Yeah, yeah. Many think the Wire Flyers, Kevin Penny. It's
Yeah,
never been confirmed, but everybody believes that the Wire Flyer, who I believe might be back for 2025, we'll have a look at that one when it comes. But yeah, I think in Gaz Carvel. I want to go back because again, these players, the likes of Gaz Carvel, recent past there, there's certain players that Kevin Penny, most people have heard about Kevin Penny, but Everett, one of those players that unless you were there, unless you're a Hull KR
yeah,
fan,
you wouldn't know him.
you wouldn't know him in the wider
No,
game. So, what
no.
specifically about him, his playing style? Why was he a hero of yours?
He just never took a backward step. And yeah, it was never a Rob Burrow, but he had similar traits to Michael Lewis. Like, yeah, he was a fullback,
Yeah,
but it duck and dive through everything. And I don't know, the lad just never stops. Like, it was the same tempo from minute 1 to minute 80, and we could be getting battered, and he's still trying to make things happen. Yeah,
yeah,
he was a good little player. Very, very good little player.
yeah. I mean, I think I'm right in thinking you'd know better than me. I'm really struggling here, I say I'm struggling, but I would have thought he'd have played in excess of 100 games for KR, wouldn't
Yeah,
he?
yeah, it was.
He'd have played quite a few games.
Obviously, we was part time then, and if I remember rightly, he was also a school teacher at one of the local schools up the road from me.
Right,
If I remember rightly, don't quote me on that. But
right.
yeah, he was a cracking little player.
Superb, superb. In terms of, I mean, obviously, it's obvious who your biggest rivals are. For a long time, especially again, because let's be fair, they had their purple patch under Lee Radford, which must have stung, the east side all when all that was going on, when they were getting the back-to-back Challenge Cups and what have you. You'd have took some stick during that time. We hear from sometimes you hear people saying, "Oh, well, through gritted teeth, it was good to see a whole team winning again." Would you share the sentiment, or would you say absolutely not?
At the time, because we got relegated by Salford, so it was a bit rough. But it was in my head, it was fair play, you know what I mean? But it was only in my head. It had never come out of my mouth, you know what I mean?
You just did. We got you.
Okay, well, there you go. Well, I'm stuck now,
We'll gift wrap that for Ian. We'll send it and he'll love it. Outstanding. I mean, obviously, like I say, turbulent years, up, down, bit of yo-yo. Here we go. And then, of course, the last time you came up, I mean, there was a great book that came out in terms of how the Robins both, off the field, which then led to on the field, how they have gone about changing as a club. Now, as a supporter, at what point did you sense in the stands and around the club that, hang on a minute, things are changing here?
I think it was I saw the changes just after COVID. Like, I felt it really coming just after COVID. And it just felt like, we got relegated. We come back up, we got rid of Deadwood. And like I say, everyone will say it was a blessing in disguise. But I feel after COVID, I feel like COVID reset us. And we just took a different outlook, and like we'd lost so much revenue like every other club. And we just started engaging with fans. We've always engaged with the fans, but I think we just took it to that next level. And I don't know, I just felt like that's where everything started, like with the Craven Street in 22. And I just felt like after the pandemic, they just went for it, and it's just been massive. It's been absolutely massive.
Just in terms of, because as a fan, look, I mean, Warrington's badge has changed 2 or 3 times, in my lifetime. It started as a crest of a town, then it was the Paul Cullen wire, then it changed again to a different, and now we've got the current one. So, in my lifetime, I've had 4 different badges. And, sometimes change is resisted. I mean, obviously, I look at, the 3 Robins on your chest there now. There'll be the old school that don't like what's going on at the Robins, but bums on seats or stood in stands tell the story. The fact now that it's standing room only, did you have any doubts when you started to see the merchandising changing, the club, because club badges are important, aren't they? When you found out they were changing the badge, what was your initial reaction when you got that?
My initial reaction was, I hate it.
Yeah.
I want the 3 crowns. And I like the old one where obviously it said all Kingston Rovers all the way around it. And I hated it. And then my partner, she bought me a Rovers top with it on. And you could, if a black bag had have a Rovers badge on, I'd buy it, you know what I mean? And it grew on me. Bloody hell, I went and got it tattooed on my chest, didn't I? And straight away I said to her, what have I done? But with these changes, it needed to, because it's kind of separated us, like, should we say, from All FC, because they've got the 3 crowns. So we've gone our own little way, and we've took some stick. I mean, Steph will say the same, like they had to kind of separate from Wigan with the hoops, and it was an eye-opener, but best thing the club's done. And so we kind of did it on a small scale, and it's really worked. Derek Beaumont probably looked at Rovers and went, "Hey, I hold my beer, mate. We're going big on this." And he did, and it's been a huge success. So change does work, absolutely, if it's managed correctly.
Yeah. Well, Steph always says to me, when people copy you, it's the best form of flattery. And there's no doubt that, there'd have been, Derek's a savvy guy. They looked at what KR have done, and albeit I think we both agree you put it on steroids with leopard print, but it's worked for them, it's worked for you, and actually what it's done probably more so for them. Pardon me.
I think it's worked for the game because it's got people talking about Lee, and people are going, "Oh, Lee, that rugby team, all right," and they're talking about rugby league, and it's. And at the end of the day, any publicity is better than no publicity.
Yeah, it's been a marketing masterclass. There's no doubt about that. So obviously from COVID, and again, you know what? I've got it upstairs, and I always forget the title of it. If you go and just put in, guys who are watching this, if you go and put into Amazon The Rise of Hull KR or something like that, this book will come up, and basically that period that Baz is talking about there, it charters it, and it's a really interesting read. So, if you like me and you like your rugby league and you like to get as much detail as possible, really, really good read. So, progressively, of course, you had Tony Smith coming in, you've had progression, Willie Peters, of course, who's been doing a stellar job, and let's be honest about that. The last 2 seasons, now it's about building again. I mean, I talked to Ollie Russell in Convo, as you know, and we talked about the 2022 Challenge Cup final, and Huddersfield didn't back up. That was the pinnacle, and it started to slide. What KR showed last year is that you are building. Bitter disappointment. Before we get to the disappointment at the Challenge Cup, I know you'd have been there. Just walk me through, as a KR fan who has been on those terraces, man and boy, had some dark days, had some good days, but championship promotions, it's not Challenge Cup, it's not Super League. No. But it's a good day. I'm sure you had a good bevy or two, but it's not the pinnacle of sport. Talk me through Bazza's reaction when Brad Snyder sent you to Wembley. Go on. Take yourself back there. What was that like as a KR fan?
I literally had tears. I looked at the missus. We're going to Wembley. Like, we've done it. And then it was, in my own mind, it was, let's not do what we did a few years ago against Leeds.
Yeah.
And I thought we blew it. I thought that was probably going to be our best shot at doing it. But it was euphoric. It was unreal, that feeling.
I think you've got other shots on the horizon, mate. I think the ways, but we'll get to 2025 in a minute. But I think you've probably got other days or opportunities in the melting pot that are coming. I mean, in terms of, we talked about the parallels between you and Lee. The fact that you two were contesting that final, the atmosphere, phenomenal. 2 passionate fans.
The game needed that.
Yeah. Yeah, they did.
Needed that as a whole.
What was it like being around Lee? Being around the Lee fans, being around the KR fans in Wembley, 2 teams that had done it tough and suddenly had a shot at silverware on the biggest stage at Wembley. Walk us through that as a KR fan in the stadium.
Lee fans was fine. It was just the FC lot. I'm not joking. It was absolutely fine. It was a good day. It was a real good day. The only time I got wound up was literally by LFC fans. Like, I think LFC fans was more passionate about Lee winning than Lee themselves, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But no, it was mega.
Yeah.
Absolutely mega.
And let's be fair, arguably best final in the last 10 years. Arguably.
It's up there, isn't it? It's up there. It was end to end, and we was clutching at straws. Lockie Lamb, that one to try, blah blah blah. But it was, and it was end to end, and you couldn't write it. Brad Schneider not making touch, but then you get KR fans slating him. I'm like, hang on, this is a young boy. We was in Turkey, and we saw on socials, he's a 21-year-old come halfway across the world on his own with his suitcase.
Yeah.
And now he's playing in front of Wembley. He got us there. That's a lot of responsibility on that young man's shoulders, and I think he did us proud. Yeah, that mistake, it's going to happen. It's not meant to be. And I'm grateful for what he did for us, and I would love him to come back one day.
Yeah. Possible, isn't it? It's possible. Look, you backed up last year, to your credit. Played some sparkling rugby league last year. sparkling. The Evels, Hiku, Burgess, all of that, Mikey Lewis, forwards that suddenly came alive like Sue, and just everything about KR, had to be admired for me. I thought everything about the club, the off-field stuff in terms of the songs, the marketing, Craven Street, all of that, the quality of the rugby league on the field. In your lifetime, I think you've probably been the most spoilt in the last 12 months in terms of the quality of the rugby you've seen.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, we have been spoilt. And I don't know, I feel like not just Willie, but the old backroom staff, they've got a knack for finding these players like, should we say, Joe Burgess, could have been an has-been from Wigan, or, Jai Whitbread, Kalepi, in a relegation side, but they're seeing things in them and just whatever they're doing, they're putting them together, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful the way it's all coming together and what they're doing for them, should I say. And Dean Hadley, I'm going to be the first to admit, 2022, I'm like, I think it's time for Dino to go. He's not doing now. He's not, but I was so wrong. I was so wrong. And 23, he was an absolute warrior. And I was very wrong about Dean Hadley and all the stuff he does, what you don't see. And yeah, he's probably our most consistent player from round 1 to round 27, and that's including more than Mikey Lewis. He is Mr. Consistent, and they've just got Dino playing really well.
In multitude positions, played a bit of front row as well as back row, didn't he, last year?
Yeah.
And you're right, Dean Hadley's one of those players that, he might not be fashionable. We say that. He might not be a fashion. He's not Mikey Lewis. He's not, if somebody turned around and said, right, we're gonna charge you an extra £2 on the door to see Dean Hadley today, some people would go and have a little word, wouldn't they? Whereas
Yeah.
if it's Mikey Lewis, it's like, yeah, no drama, So
Yeah.
and that's not being disrespectful to Dean. That's just what I mean by unfashionable. But
Yeah.
he's undroppable in current form.
Yeah.
He's been
Absolutely.
that good for you.
And I think that's what Willie Peters seen in him. Willie Peters was watching him before he'd actually come over, and Willie Peters took a real shine to him, and he's really got the best out of him. Really has. Yeah, he's a quality forward.
When Willie Peters came in, did you expect him to continue where Smith had left off? Did you expect him
I've
to
got
do what he's done?
I've got very mixed views about Tony Smith. When the Rovers lot was in meltdown, I kind of wasn't. I thought it was needed. I was excited for it. Back of my mind, I was thinking, is it going to be another Craig Sandercock? But again, we've got a different board now, and we've learned from our mistakes. And I was looking forward to it. Just fresh face, fresh ideas, and just fresh for the club. And it was needed. And again, Tony Smith, it was right for him to go. I knew his time was done after the semi-final defeat to Huddersfield. His whole mannerism in the interview, the way he put himself across, even down to his team selection, he didn't want to be there. And that's why Willie Peters, unknown, yeah, this guy's right for the club. He's got good connections. I look at his background and, yeah, best thing ever.
I mean, we'll talk about the 2025 squad that's going to set the field in a minute. And of course, now, they always say you've got to lose one to win one. KR have come up short, in a couple of seasons, Challenge Cup. But they are building. And with the squad that you've got for this year, it's built again. The one thing that I think I really like about what Peters is doing is the DNA of KR. I think the Sean Kenny Dowell piece, really important. Just keeping, the best teams in sport always keep, the heart, good personalities that are good for the squad, good for the culture, what KR are all about. The fact that he's retaining, big personalities that got a lot to give to the club, I think that's a masterstroke, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. And when, well, the trust he has in his staff, like when we lost Brett Delaney, like, yeah, I was a little bit gutted, but basically gives Sean Kenny-Dowell that opportunity to sort of take some of that role on, and he trusts him, and he knows what he's doing. It's like I was scratching my head when Danny Ward come. I'm like, nothing against Danny Ward, but in my mind, I thought, is he going to be taking over? I thought he wouldn't be the right fit for the club, but it turns out I was wrong, and I don't know. It's just all working together beautifully. Like they're so connected, and he's doing well to keep them, because I believe when Sean Kenny-Dowell went retired, he was only meant to be doing 1 year coaching. But again, he's stayed over, he's had a baby, and he's extended. So that's his future, part of our future as well.
I'm going to ask you a really challenging question. Hopefully we're mates there. Oh, hopefully I've got enough credit in the bank to ask you this, and I want you to answer it honestly. You weren't with us, you will be this year, I'm sure. Magic Weekend last year, a bunch of us went to that. And we were sat in close proximity to some KR fans. Right. And we all came away with the same feeling. And I want to get your gauge on this, because you're in Craven Park, so you'll be getting what we got. We got a small taste that day. Atmospheric, absolutely brilliant. What they do in terms of the songs, the chants, the atmosphere, brilliant. Yeah. We all came away, Baz, with this feeling of there is a fine line between confidence and arrogance. And we sensed that day an arrogance. KR haven't won anything. And we all came away saying the same thing, that what's going on there?
It's embarrassing.
You'd think that they were St. Helens 4-time grand final winners, Wigan. Were we right to come away with that impression?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. Because I have it myself.
Right.
I get embarrassed myself. Some stuff I see online on the Rovers forums, it makes me cringe. Like, stay humble. This whole big dogs. No, we're our own people. We're building to the top. We're not big dogs. We're not this. It really, really riles me. Like, we're not well beaters. Like, we're past the point of seeing Rovers 10, why Rovers will 10, we're going to, that's our cup final for the year. We've done it. No, we're a competing side now. Yeah, we're a competing side now. We aren't well beaters. We're not so-called big dogs. Some fans need to remain arrogant, and I think the problem is at the moment, like, because we're expanding, like expanding the stadium, we're getting new fan base in, which is all good for us, good for the game. As much as, should we say, for every 100 new fans we're getting, you might get a small percentage, 5 of them, they're idiots.
Every team's got them.
Sieving them out, and the new fans, and I can't get my head around where this all arrogance things come from, because end of the day, Wigan, Saints, Wire, Leeds, they're still the well-known clubs. The bigger ends, I don't even want to say Hull FC, but Hull FC are probably more well-known than us. You know what I mean? So I think if it was a message to the KR fans, just stay humble. Stay humble.
Love it, mate. And do you know what? And I don't get me wrong, I asked that question because I sensed it, but KRA have got a real opportunity for me. A real opportunity, both on and off the field. I come back to that word of class. In defeat or in victory, class. That's the measure. Wigan have done it all. Wigan are the staple, whether they win or whether they lose, especially under Peter. With Matt Pete loses a game, class. Wins a game, class.
Yeah.
Supporters at times should follow that lead. And what I wouldn't want, I can see through that. I can see past that to a degree, and I can. I would rather focus on what the team is serving up. And the team is serving up some wonderful rugby league. Don't get me wrong, it's befitting of respect. It's befitting of, dare I say, just complete and utter wow. I mean, where's this come from? I mean, last season it was just incredible rugby league to watch. So I agree with you. KR, other KR members who will watch this, I think Bazzy's spot on. I love the fact you've been that honest. And I love the fact that, like me, you just want KR to be humble, to enjoy the ride, and just, you don't need to go to those places. Just sing your songs, sing them with passion, get behind your lads, whether you win,
have a good
whether you
day out.
lose. Have a good day out, whether you win, whether you lose. Do so with respect, and believe me, you're going to be. I want people to think of Hull KR, where both on and off the field, it's like, yeah, great club, great place to go. Craven Park, great place to go. When they come to our ground, great bunch of fans. Don't allow yourselves. Your team are first class. Be first class supporters.
Well, I think the fans, what you've just mentioned about Matty P, like, I watch every single interview religiously, blah, blah, blah. The fans need to start looking more at Willie Peters, like the way he conducts himself in victory, in defeat, very gracious, very honest. And when he says we've been rubbish, like Catalan last year, he was disgusted with the performance, but it took nothing away from Catalan. And that the fans need to look how Willie Peters conducts himself, and that's how we should.
Spot on. Right, let's get into 2025. First and foremost, as a KR fan, some heroes of yours have departed. In one word, sum up, obviously a massive thank you to them all, but sum them up in terms of their time at KR in a word if you can. Tom Oppershit.
It's hard to say. It was underrated. Like it was a good player. Yeah. It was a good player.
Matty Staunton.
Hard worker.
George King.
Let himself down.
Won't go there. Reece Butterworth.
Didn't step up to the plate. He had his opportunity to make himself known and just went for him. The full-time environment.
Ryan Hall.
He's going to be missed. Legend.
And then my personal favourite over the last five or so years, Matt Parcell.
He's a god.
Class, isn't he? Class player. But, all things come to an end. Right, look, let's get into this 2025 squad before we ask you what you think, how much you're looking forward to the new season and what these lads are capable of. Tom Davies has come in for Ryan Hall. That's a good standard of replacement, isn't it?
I was surprised how big he is, like upper body strength. Yeah, and that I think for Ollie, I thought he went a season too long for us. It proved me wrong last year because he was phenomenal. Yeah. But I think for me, the right time was to change, and brilliant.
I think the thing with Ollie was the record. I think that weighed on him. I think once that got done, I think he just relaxed and was back. It was back to Ryan Hall again. I just feel that weighed heavily on his shoulders last year a little bit. Right. I'm going to go to 17 first. Reece Martin's in a KR shirt last year. You win the League Leaders Shield. I've got no doubt about that. His goal kicking gets you there. You'd have won it with points to spare, genuinely. Is he, you must be over the moon. You must be over the moon to have Reece Martin at KR.
I am. I just hope he fits into, as Willie Peters would say, the KR way, the culture of what he wants from his players. That is literally my only, not concern. I just want him to fit in, and I think he'll do a job. He will.
Look, he's kicking alone. I mean, the question is, where's he slot in? Because is it Gildart? Because he's played centre at Leeds. Is Gildart under the cosh? We've spoke about Dean Adley, undroppable. James Batchelor, I think, is better than his brother. I say it all the time. I think James Batchelor is the better of the team.
I think Dean Adley is going to be more of a utility player. I think this is my opinion. I've not heard now, seen now, but I think Dino, because he's getting on a bit now and he did some huge minutes last year. I think he's going to be rotating around the pack. You might see him do 10 minutes in the prop, come off for a bit, and then you might see him do the last 15 at loose forward because Minchella just an animal and he was tired come the end of the year. So it'll just keep the pack fresh.
Fair enough. See that, but I'd be interested to see where he drops in. Aribi Duro, I'll be interested to see how he goes. He's been in and out a little bit in his career.
I watched him against York, and I tell you what, some boy, he can put a big hit in, and I was surprised at that Rowan as well. I'm looking forward to Doro, to be honest with you.
I think it's fitness is key. It's getting the minutes, and these lads need the minutes to build the fitness levels up to the right stand. But yeah, you're right. I mean, one's to keep an eye on. They've got a lot of competition above them, but one to keep an eye on. Lee Kershaw. We'd expect Burgess and Davies to start, but Kershaw last year for London did well. If called upon, he's a good player. He does big meters. Knows where a try line is, can finish a try. So again, I think we said this in weekly. It's an astute signing, that one, as is Danny Richardson as well in terms of backup to the halves.
Yeah, I think Kershaw is a clever signing. Not massive on the salary cap. Good when you need it, but thing is, Broadbent can do a job on the wing as well, and I really like that Broadbent. So it's just healthy competition for places, and Kershaw's not daft. He knows he's not starting winger, but it's down to him to give Peters the headache to say, look, tell you what, I'm training well. I'm ready to jump in if one of these boys jump out.
Yeah, absolutely. Then we'll get into we'll go Jared. Monster, absolute. Let's put it out. World class. Been there, done it. Got the t-shirt. If this guy stays on the field, which everybody's wondering, we're going to have to wait and see on that. But if he does, he's bringing something to your pack that you didn't have last year. Brutality. I mean, I will say it. It's brutality. I mean, Jai Whitbread's good. I think Whitbread is a clever prop. He's got good feet. This guy, he's just brutal.
Well, you'll look at the Rovers Wigan game. Look at them two packs. We was always getting bullied in the middle, always, and that'll stand things up. And I think he's going to prove a lot of people wrong. Personally, like staying on the field, it's great for us, but I think it's great for Super League because it gets people talking about Super League, doesn't it?
It does, and I think in terms of will he, won't he stay on the field, this is another opportunity for us to say Willie Peters the coach, because Willie will know that he's been over here now long enough to know the nuanced differences between NRL and Super League. You'll expect there'll be lots of conversations happening. So again, from a coaching perspective, if massive raps, if we see a more disciplined but as aggressive Jared Hargreaves in Super League staying on the field, as much as he as a player takes all the credit, there will have been a really good bit of work done in the coaching.
Personally, I think he's already starting on the back foot, personally, because I think he's already under the radar for the refs. Look at Paul Vaughan, Wyatt, absolutely outstanding. But last year, the refs was on his back. Yeah. And I personally felt like Vaughan was scared to make a challenge. Yeah. Not because he's scared of the challenge, but getting booked and he just wasn't quite the same player. And that's down to certain decisions. I just hope that doesn't happen to Jared.
That's going to be a contest when them two collide. I mean, there's some lovely contests in the front. I like the Biff. I love the middle unit. So I'm really looking forward to seeing him.
I can't wait to see him run at Patrick Mago.
Yeah, that'll be good. Mago, Warmth. Mate. Yeah, it's just great and it's fantastic. And then the last bit of the squad, because like I say, the squad's incredible. I mean, you read the squad. It is a proper squad that he's assembled for this year. The hookers, the foils to Jez Litton. Jez getting 9. Delighted for Jez. Think he deserves that. He's still got development in him, but he's worked under a brilliant tutor in Matt Parcell. Mickey McIlaurin's come in again. Loads of experience, good for the dressing room. You listen to what McNamara said when he went to Catalan. Mickey Mac was fantastic in terms of winning mentality. So again, astute there. But the one for me is Bill Leyland. I don't know how much you know of Bill Leyland, but the one for me, everybody's on this. It'll be 9 and 14 rotating. Bill Leyland for me is one to watch. This kid's got it.
I think we're going to see more of Bill Leyland than people's expecting this year because Mickey Mac, he's getting on.
Yeah,
he looks after himself, but Mickey Mac is aggressive, and that's what we need. But we know he's going to pick up a card at some point. So we know Bill Leyland's going to get that opportunity. Yeah. Now, the squad have already said Bill Leyland's got a bit of Matty Parcell in him, a bit of Mickey Mack in him, traits of his game. So I think it's going to be a big year for Bill Leyland, and I think we'll see more of him than we'd anticipate. But
Well,
yeah,
let's
it's
hope so,
definitely
because
fun to
I think
watch.
he's a talented boy, mate. He's a talented
Yeah.
boy. I'm really looking forward to seeing him. Right, okay. So we're going to bring this to a close, but before we do, let's have a little bit of sport. What was your favourite try last year? Of all the ones that KR scored last year, what was your favourite?
I don't know. We scored some belters. Oh, Jez Litton's against Leeds was a quality try. It was a very, very, very good try. I really, really enjoyed that. Um, Mate, you've put me on the spot because we did score some really good tries. I think one of Ryan Hall's, like when he broke his record, it just come out of nowhere and he did it. I think that was my favourite one. It's
Yeah,
purely for Rolly.
yeah.
But if you're talking favourite try of 25, it's got to be Bevan French
Oh,
against
in
us.
terms of well, no, I preferred the ones. I thought was it Lee? I think it might have been the Lee
Against
one.
Lee.
Oh no, no, he was against you, wasn't it? Yeah. No, I thought you meant the final. Yeah, that the first time he did it. Oh yeah. Ooh.
It's not.
You just got to put
He's
your hands up, haven't you, and say,
yeah,
time for a pint.
fair play. I'm off to
Yeah,
toilet.
get me to the bar. Get me to the bar so I could toast it. It was that good.
Absolutely.
Outstanding. Yeah, you're right, mate. Oh, outstanding stuff from Bevan French. Right, look, there'll be people that have just stumbled across. Low members are coming, joining Super League Raw all the time. They might be watching this as the first one or first thing that they've watched since they've become a member, because only members get to see this. Baz, what have they got to look forward to, mate? You've been around for a while now.
Lots of banter, lots of stickers on the WhatsApp group, but friendship. And trust me, you will learn a lot more about the game of rugby league as a whole through this guy on the screen, and that is a promise.
and the supporting cast, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's great fun, and we're really looking forward to what 2025 has got ahead. Right, 2025. As a KR fan, not arrogance, but from your perspective now, going in, we're 2 weeks away, just over. 2 weeks away from the kickoff of the 2025 season. Go on, from your perspective, talk me through 2025. What's your thoughts?
Last year, I was absolutely spot on. I said, we're going to make a final. I said, we're going to finish second. And I was right. I said that like way before the season. I don't think we're going to do it this year. I'm thinking third in a semi.
Right. Okay. So you're playing it down even with the players that you brought in.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I weren't expecting that. I'll ask you this then. I mean, and it's tough. And we'll put Bevan French to one side. I think Bevan French is on a pedestal where you ask this question, it's Bevan French. So we're just going to move Bevan to one side for a minute when I say this. If you could bring one more player from any squad in Super League into your team this season, who would that player be?
Luke Thompson.
Right.
Luke Thompson. Him and JWH up front. That's it. Give us a trophy now.
Yeah. Mate, great shout. Thompson.
The minutes that man does
Yeah.
is second to none. Second to none. Even when Wigan's on the back foot, it just drags them out of that slump and just literally drags the full team and keeps them going. And it is a pleasure to watch. He just is an animal.
I can't disagree with that. I think Thompson was outstanding for Wigan last year. Look, guys, there you go. There's Bazza Kingston. So Bazza will be with us at grand finals. Bazza will be with us at Magic Weekend. He'll be coming to a ground near you soon. And that's what it's all about here at Super League Raw. When Hull KR are coming to town or you're going to Hull KR, reach out to Bazza. He'll have a pint with you before a game and talk eloquently like he has done with me this morning. I hope you've enjoyed as much as I have spending a bit of time with Baz today. I'm going to allow him now to go and take his good lady out for a lovely, maybe seafood meze or something in Tunisia, because she deserves it, having had a holiday interrupted by Super League Raw. But Baz, on behalf of your community, and I'll say it, your community, thank you very much for sparing your time, and it's been a privilege getting to know you better, mate. You enjoy the rest of your holiday. Thanks for coming.
Mate. Thank you. See you later.